I'm 60 years old, and I've spent every single day of the last 30 years making sure my daughter, Chloe, had the world at her feet. I paid for the Ivy League tuition, the dream wedding, and even the down payment on her suburban home. But last night, as I stood outside her bedroom door to bring her a glass of water, my world stopped spinning. I heard her whispering to her husband, Mark. "The papers are ready," she said. "Once she's in the memory care facility, the house is ours. The doctors will sign off on her being incompetent by Monday." My own daughter wasn't just planning my retirement, she was planning my disappearance. She thought I was losing my mind, but she made one fatal mistake. "I'm not senile, Chloe. I'm just getting started, and you're about to find out exactly whose name is on the bank accounts." The next morning, the show began. Chloe walked into the kitchen with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "Mom, where are your car keys? You left them in the refrigerator again," she said, dangling them in front of me. I knew for a fact I'd left them on the hook by the door. She was gaslighting me, moving my things, hiding my glasses, and then looking at Mark with that pitying look that said, "See, she's slipping." I realized then that they'd been doing this for months. Every time I forgot a doctor's appointment that she never actually told me about, she was adding another note to her secret ledger. They wanted a medical paper trail to show the courts that Martha Miller was no longer fit to manage her $2 million estate. I decided to play the part. I acted a little more confused, a little slower. I wanted them to get comfortable. While they were out for dinner, celebrating their future inheritance, no doubt, I went through Chloe's home office. I found a folder hidden under some old tax returns. It was full of brochures for Sunnyvale Manor. It looked like a palace in the pictures, but the reviews told a different story. It was a low-end facility, famous for being cheap and keeping residents sedated. That's when I saw the bank statements. Mark's business was $500,000 in debt. They didn't want me to have a comfortable old age. They wanted my house sold by Christmas to pay off their gambling debts. My heart didn't just break, it turned into ice. Monday morning, while they thought I was napping, I drove to my private lawyer's office, the one Chloe didn't know about. I didn't just change my will, I dismantled it. I moved every single asset into a living trust. I appointed a professional fiduciary as the trustee, meaning even if I did end up in a home one day, Chloe wouldn't be able to touch a single cent without a court order. I also handed my lawyer a small digital recorder. It contained every whisper, every plan, and every lie I'd recorded on my phone over the last week. "Keep this safe," I told him. "We're going to need it for the birthday party." The day arrived. Chloe had invited a family friend over, who was actually a private psychologist she'd hired to evaluate me. They sat me down in the living room, looking all concerned. "Mom, we're worried about your safety," Chloe started, sliding a stack of papers toward me. I looked her straight in the eye. I didn't shake, I didn't cry. I just pulled out my phone and pressed play. The sound of her own voice plotting to lock me away filled the room. The psychologist looked horrified and stood up to leave immediately. Chloe's face went from smug to ghostly white. "The house is being sold, Chloe," I said calmly, "but not to pay your debts. I'm moving to a villa in Italy, and you have 24 hours to pack your bags. You wanted a home? Well, now you can go find one yourself."